Good morning, YouTube. Uh, it's early, so hi to the early bird. I see someone out there. Say good morning to me. I wanted to come and just share some quick thoughts on why I've been away and also some morning motivation. I haven't gone live in forever, so legit, it took me like 15 minutes to figure out how to get my StreamYard going again because I haven't done this in so long. But yeah, I just wanted to hop on live and share some quick updates and say hello. So I see someone out there in the chat. Say hi to me. I don't know who is subscribed to me anymore. It's so funny because I'll come online and I see my subscribers are going up, but I'm not exactly sure who these folks are. So if you are a new subscriber, definitely feel free to come and say hi to me. So I've got my coffee. Yes, I drink coffee. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started about where I've been and what I've been doing. So I went on a break and I didn't really realize I needed a break until I had been away for a couple of weeks. And I was just in the middle of doing so many things. I was planning a move and things got really hectic and really tight. It didn't work out. And so I had all of that going on. And then things in my personal life weren't going according to plan either. So it's like before I knew it, I was just really dealing with a lot behind the scenes. Hi, good morning. I see more people coming on. Say hi to your DJ. I see y'all out there. Say good morning to me. I miss all of you so much. I'm so glad to be back on YouTube. I just wanted to come and share why I've been away and what I've been doing and just chop it up with you all. I see a comment already. Ronald says, "You are so beautiful and sweet." Oh, thank you, Ronald. Good morning. Thank you so much. So yeah, if you're just popping in, just let me know. Check in. Where are you from? What's up? And talk to your girl DJ because I have missed you all so much. And I just miss y'all. Frederick says, hello from Ghana. How are you? Ghana is in the house. I'm doing very well. How have you been? So yeah, y'all, I was, handling a lot of things behind the scenes and things were not going according to plan. And there's this, all right, Oklahoma. Okay, Oklahoma's in the house. What's up, Oklahoma? Yeah, so I was just, I had a lot of plans going on and I was trying to make things happen. I was trying to make the move happen. And it was like, the more that I tried to make things happen, the more that they kind of didn't work. And it really taught me a powerful lesson about how sometimes you need to fall back from a situation in order for things to come together. If you are a strong-willed person like myself, like I can be very headstrong. It's one of those qualities that I have had since I was a little girl. Sometimes I wish I could change it, but I can't. I'm just very headstrong. I'm very it's just me. And I will try to push and push for something to work. And sometimes it's better to just fall back and let it go. And so I want to share some morning motivation around that. But first, I want to chop it up with you all. Africa is the future, says Zimbabwe, but an expat in UK. Top of the morning to you. Zimbabwe's in the house. Ronald asks, am I Ghanaian? No, I am Black American. Chinoso, hey, delightful D, my sweetheart. How are you? Oh, Chinoso, it's so good to see you. I'm doing very well, having a little bit of morning coffee, and so excited to be back on YouTube. Y'all need to fill me in on what we need to be talking about. I am ready to start going live again, but I just wanted to do this check-in and yeah, share some lessons that I've learned. And the message that I wanted to share today is that winners know when to quit. So if you have ever had to fall back from a situation, I want you to just throw a 1 in the chat for me. Just put your 1 up if you've ever had to fall back from a situation, a person, a job, whatever it is. Let me know in the comments because I want to talk about recognizing when you need to quit, okay? Ronald says, Goddess, let's stay tuned to Haiti. Yes, let's get into some discussion about Haiti. I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm seeing some 1s in the chat. Ronald has put a 1. Human Man has put up a 1. So yes, let's talk about recognizing when you need to quit. So often, especially in America, we are taught that winners never quit and quitters never win. And I'm here to tell you that's not true. Actually, if you really look at it, winners know when it's time to walk away from something. Winners know when it's time to change directions, and winners know when it's time to refocus. So often, when we are in the middle of a situation and we're just like, I've got to make this happen, I can't let this go. Do you know what we're actually doing? We're forcing something that isn't meant to be. And when you try to force something, do you know what happens? Even if you get it, even if you're able to push and force and work it, it rarely works out. So I want you to know that it is 100% okay to take a look at a situation and to say, you know what? I've been working at this for X years. I've been trying to convince myself of XYZ for how long? And it still hasn't worked out. Maybe it's time for me to change directions. Maybe it's time for me to go to a different place. Maybe it's time to try something new. And when you do that, you will step into what is really for you and not what you're trying to force. And so this is the lesson that I've learned, and I just wanted to pass it on, that it is 100% okay to walk away from something that no longer serves you. So that was the message that I had this morning. It's a short one. Is there anything else that we should talk about? This was just a quick live. I'm going to be preparing some other lives for the weekend, but I really just wanted to come and say hi and just let you all know that I miss you. I appreciate all of my subscribers that have been rocking with me from day 1. I appreciate the new subscribers. Thank you for being patient with your DJ, even when I, take breaks and things like that. And yeah, that's really all I had to say. Let me see what's in the chat. Ronald said that's a beautiful message. Thank you, Ronald. Absolutely. Knowing when to quit. And if you really take a look at what's going on throughout the world and the diaspora, you see people that are quitting now. You see people that are saying, I've been in this country for a year and it hasn't worked out. You know what? I'm a roll out. They're walking away. And it's because they've been trying to make a situation work that was never really meant for them in the first place. See, once you've been in the middle of a situation for so long, you start to lose sight of your end goal. It's like the repats that are in Africa. You've been in this country for years now. Your business isn't working out. Your love life isn't working out. Your money is not getting longer. But you're so committed to trying to make a certain idea work that you don't know when to say enough is enough. You're not getting enriched by it. You're not improving yourself by it, but you are so stubborn that you don't want to just say, you know what? Hey, I tried it. It didn't work out for me. And now I'm moving on. See, that's what we have to learn how to do. And it's not called quitting, it's called evolving, it's called maturing, and it's called knowing when to walk away. Okay, Africa is the future said, I thought you would be talking about what you have been up to. Is that all, Dee? Well, I have been up to some things in terms of my professional life. I have started working more on consulting. And so, yes, you're going to be hearing more about that. I'm going to start doing more videos about that and hopefully bringing some really cool projects to you all in the future. So that's what I've been working on. It's still a work in progress and hopefully something more. But yeah, for the most part, I just needed a break. I was trying to make a move happen and the move did not work out for your girl. It was like, it just got to the point where I was just hitting my head up against a wall and I was just like, okay, I need to chill. And I just needed a break. And so, yeah, that's really what's been going on. Okay, so who else is in the chat? Say hi to me. Let me know what you all have been up to. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, just knowing when to walk away. I mean, that for me, someone who is persistent, that's been one of the hardest things I've had to learn to do just in my life. And yeah, we got to learn. Oh, okay. Human Man says there's a difference between giving up and knowing when you've had enough. Very critical point. Very big point. Very good point. So, giving up is when you've come into a situation and you know this is for you and you're ready to put in the work to make it happen. And then you're like, okay, I'm just not here to do this. And you give up before you've even tried. But when you know you've had enough, that's when you've done everything you can possibly do to make a situation work. That's when you've put in your diligence. That's when you focus. You've put your money where your mouth is. You've put your time where your mouth is. And when you decide, okay, I've had enough, this is not for me, that's when you know it's time to walk away. Very good point. Africa is the future says, did you put off your move to Africa, Dee? You know what? I am feeling a little differently about Africa. I actually am wanting to visit Africa, and the countries that I want to visit are very strict with their guidelines. We all know what's happening in the world right now. And there are just some things that I'm not willing to do. So the country that I want to go to has a lot of strict guidelines in place. And I thought that, by the fall, by the winter, that these things would be falling off, and they haven't. I mean, I can't be the only one who thought that we would be out of the pandemic by this time. And unfortunately, it's still going on. And so, yeah, travel is not quite as easy as I was hoping. So we'll see how it goes. But the specific country that I want to go to and visit, they still have pretty tough guidelines in place. Ebony Riley says, yes, you have to know when to fold them and move on. Yes, girl, you have to know. Because after a while, when you don't know how to fold it and you don't know how to move on, you end up losing. Right? It's called the law of diminishing returns. Once you've been working at something for so long and it's not working out for you, and you continue to put money, resources, time, energy, and you're not getting anything back, you actually end up on the losing end of the situation. So, yes, Ebony, so good to see you, girl. How have you been? Yes, you have to know when to hold them and when to fold them. Ronald says, Black children need to hear a voice like you have. Oh, Ronald, that is just so sweet. You got me all in my feelings this morning. Thank you. That is so sweet. Yes, Black children. And this is something that I think we need to really start discussing. And that's the lack of investing into Black children that Black parents do. One thing that I've noticed in the Black community is that we don't invest in our children. We see our children and they may be gifted in a particular area. It could be basketball, it could be football, it could be piano, whatever it is. But we don't want to pay the money for them to go to basketball camp. We don't want to pay the money for them to go to piano lessons. We don't want to pay the money for them to get the coach that they need. And so what happens? All that talent is wasted. We as Black people, we have to stop thinking that everything is free. If you want something, you have to put in the resources. You have to put in the money. And in particular, with our children, we have to do that investing. Black children need us to invest in them. Otherwise, their chances of being successful are very minimal, very minimal. Ebony says, you're not in control, your ego is. Oh, Ebony, say that again. Yes, ego has a lot to do with it, because how many times are we involved with a person and we just want to prove that we can make it happen with that person? Even though we know this is not the man for us, or this is not the woman for us, or this is not the person for us, how many times do we get involved and we don't want to let go, even when we recognize this is not the person for me? So often you think you're winning, but you're actually losing. Yes. Oh, I see a few more people have joined the chat. So say hi to me if you're just coming on. I know it's early. I know a lot of people are still sleeping, but thank you so much for coming to say hi to your DJ. Just come say hi to me. I'm having my coffee. Your girl is having her peppermint mocha. And I just wanted to come and chat. Let's talk about anything. Throw out whatever you want to talk about in the chat. I just want to spend some time with my subscribers. We haven't had any quality time together in a long time. And so I just wanted to say good morning. Hi. I hope you're well. If we've never talked before, say hi to your DJ. Human Man says, did you get the job? Yes, I got the job, but all jobs are not created equal. And sometimes there are jobs that you need to pass on. And so I definitely learned a very good lesson about how the title can be right, the money can be right, but that doesn't mean you need to take that job, okay? That doesn't mean you need to take that job. Let me tell y'all, when you are evaluating whether a job is right for you, don't just look at the position. Oh, I want to be CEO. Oh, I want to be manager. The position is just the beginning. What you really have to do is evaluate the culture. Is this the kind of culture that I can succeed in? Is this management team one that is supportive? Is this company aligned with the goals that I have for the future? If those things do not add up, it is okay to pass on that job. And so, yes, I got the job. I thought it was the dream job that I wanted. It was right up my alley. It was in the field that I have been working so hard to break into. But let me tell you, hey, when I got on that job and I saw what I had to work with on a daily basis, when I saw the attitude, especially of the leadership team, I was miserable. When I say I was miserable, I mean I was very unhappy and I had to walk away. I was like, I tried to make it work. I did my due diligence. I brought my A game every day, but ultimately it was not the right fit for me. And it's okay. Like, it's okay to know when to walk away. I was like, this is not the position for me. This is not the company. Right job, right title, wrong company. So, yes, I got the job and did not like it. Ronald says, that is so beautiful what you said about investing in our children. Absolutely. Thank you. But sometimes Black parents don't have the money. No matter the education level, we're not making the same money because we run nothing. Now, chat, I want you to let me know if you agree with Ebony. So if you agree with Ebony's position that the reason why Black folks aren't investing in their children is because we simply don't have money, I want you to drop a 1 in the chat. If you think that the reason why we are not investing in our children is for a reason other than not having money, I want you to drop a 2. And let's tease that apart. And Ebony, that's a very, pointed statement that you made. And I definitely want us to dig a little bit deeper in that because I am of the mindset that it's not just a lack of money that is inhibiting or prohibiting Black people from investing in our children. And you know how I know this? Because when Black people want to go on vacation, we have the money. When Black people want to get our hair done, we have the money. When Black people want to step out and look good, and nobody does that quite like we do, we have the money. When Black people want to go out to eat and eat good, we have the money. And so for me, I'm not buying the argument that Black people do not have the money to invest in our children because we find the money when we want to do everything else. Correct? Am I right or wrong? Tell me if I'm lying. We have the money when it's time to do anything else. So I'm not so sure that it's because we lack the money. In fact, Black people in America are making more money than we have ever made in the history of our time here. I'm going to repeat that. Black people in America are making more money than we have ever made in our time in this country. But we're not wealthier for it. You know why? Because and salary, wealth and making money are 2 totally different things. It's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money you keep. And so Black people, we find ourselves in this really paradoxical position, right? Where we're going to these jobs and we're making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year, but we're not getting wealthier. Why? Because we're in debt. We have student loans. We don't own our homes, and our consumer spending is out of control. So I don't buy that we don't have the money, because the numbers say that Black people have money. It's just where we choose to spend that money. Now, if I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. Let's talk. Ebony says we need more business owners. Ronald puts up a 2 in the chat. Ebony says we can never know what our counterpart is making because we don't do the hiring. That's fine. Yeah, absolutely. Perhaps we don't know what our counterparts are making, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Black people are making more money in this country than we've ever made, but we're not seeing gains in our wealth because of what we're doing with the money. You see? And we can really start to think about, for example, Mexicans, Hispanic Americans are some of the lowest paid workers in this country. Mexican men are some of the lowest paid workers in this country. But guess what? Their wives are always staying at home. Mexican men are some of the lowest paid workers in the United States of America. But yet, their wives can afford to be stay-at-home wives and stay-at-home mothers. On the other hand, Black people make very reasonable wages in this country. And yet Black women are very rarely stay-at-home mothers or stay-at-home wives. Why? Why is it that the Hispanic man who is doing manual labor, physical labor, and making far less than the brother who's at the corporate job in HR, but he can allow his woman to stay home and not work and raise their children? Why can he do that, but Black people can't do that? You make more than them, right? But it's because Black people choose to put their money into consumer spending. And we don't see the same value in having our women stay home and invest in the children and raise in the children. We already know it's not just about money. It's about what we're doing with it. Okay, let me get to some comments. Ronald says, yes, you are making a good point. Thank you, Ronald. Ebony says, I also agree with you on our priorities. Yes, but we're still not making what they are. And we have so many single parent households. Yes, single parent households are a major issue. And I was thinking about making a video about what Sinji said, but I don't know if I'm ready to have that conversation. But again, I think our focus on white people, it can be helpful, but it can also be counterproductive. Why, DJ? Why is focusing on what white people make counterproductive? Well, because you're not centering your experience. You're not centering what it is that you can do. You don't have as much money as Johnny up the street. Okay, but you have far more money than your Hispanic counterparts. So there's a middle ground that we're not discussing. And I think when we position it as, oh, well, white folks have this much and Black folks have this much, we take away our own power and what it is that we're able to do. White people in this country are in a very solid position. Black people in this country could be in a solid position if we change how we do things. And again, that comes back to winners knowing when to quit. As Black people in America, as ADOS, right? When are we going to say it's time for our culture to evolve? When is it going to be time to say we've been doing things a certain way for 50, 75, 100 years and it's not working? When are we going to be comfortable with shifting our culture? That's the real question. Okay, let me get to these comments. Okay, let's see. Ebony says, I think the average female single parent household, 40% of which have never been married. Africa is the future. Why can't you start your own businesses where Black people can spend that money and the money remain in the Black community? That's a fair question. Ebony, I'll let you respond to that because truthfully, there's nothing stopping Black people from owning Black businesses. And that's why I think it's so critical for us to begin to shift our thinking away from it's white people to what is it that we are doing that is not serving us. For example, there is no reason that an Arab person should be able to come to America, open a liquor store in your neighborhood, and you have nothing to say about it? There is no reason that a person should be able to come from India and open a grocery store, a corner store in your neighborhood, and you have nothing to say about it? Black people have to move from a position of feeling powerless because in reality, you're not powerless. You have the most spending power of any group of Black people in the entire world, right here in the United States of America. You have more spending power than any other group of Black people. But yet, Arabs can come to your neighborhood, start a liquor store business, start a corner store business, selling you rotten food, selling you outdated products, glass windows. You can't even interact with them. And you allow this in your neighborhood. You could shut it down, right? For example, you don't have to shop there. You can send a letter to the mayor and say, we're not going to go to these stores. But do we do that? No. So I'm not buying that Black people can't start businesses. What's stopping Black people from starting businesses? Let's have some real talk. What is starting you? What is stopping you from starting a business in your own neighborhood? Because we have to be honest about what's going on here. Okay, MK Toure says, what is going on here again? Hi, MK Toure. Welcome to the channel. Hi. You made the block list for a while because I know, you know what, MK Toure, I'm just going to keep it real with you. I saw some comments that you made on other channels about me that I did not appreciate. You've been a long time subscriber and fan, and you made some very harsh comments about me on other channels. And I know that you posted on some of my videos, why am I blocked? Why am I blocked? And so I've unblocked you, but I just wanted to let you know that that was not cool what you did. You've been a subscriber and a viewer for a long time since I first got started. And I just did not appreciate that instead of coming to me and saying, hey, DJ, you know, I don't like what you said about this particular topic. I don't think this was cool. And here's why. Right? And I'm a very reasonable person. I allow all sorts of comments as long as they're not crossing the line and being disrespectful. I allow people to comment and disagree and share their opinions. But for you to go on another content creator's channel and be so harsh towards me and then come back on my channel and act like nothing ever happened, I did not think that was cool. I didn't think it was very manly of you. And so yes, you made the block list, but I have unblocked you because I know you've been rocking with me for a long time, but I thought you were pretty, I thought it wasn't cool, and so I just want to be upfront and honest about why you weren't able to comment, because I know that you did come to several videos asking that question, and that was the reason why you made the block list. All right, back to the discussion. Yes, and we don't value family and children, Ronald says. I love how you are realistic, but still positive. Let's see. Oh, I got to catch up with the comments. Ronald says, you are so feminine and men love that. Oh, thank you, Ronald. Oh, thank you. I'm getting all in my feels. Thank you so much. Y'all, we need to talk about how DJ just has really I don't know what it is about me and relationships, but for some reason, I find relationships to be so hard. And this is just like a moment of vulnerability, but relationships with, men, whew, I mean, they're hard. Men, y'all are something else. That's all I'm going to say. Pharaoh Monk says, sis, you have to account for how immigrants receive public assistance that Black couples are not entitled to. They also live in subsidized apartments. Yes, 100% correct. You have a very valid point that immigrants do receive subsidies. And I agree that that needs to be addressed. And one of the reasons why I think Black folks need to begin to vote out the representatives who allow this. For example, in your local government, you have representatives that are approving these subsidies. You have local representatives who are approving aid and foreign aid and are saying, okay, we want these people to have XYZ. It's time to begin to say, if you're not going to invest in homegrown businesses in our neighborhoods, you're going to be voted out. As simple as that. Okay, it starts with the family, it's the foundation. Black people are stuck between we need to make money and you live only once. I think we can do both. I think it's about balance, right? We can enjoy ourselves and travel and have fun and eat good. And we can also invest in our children and our futures. It's all about what we prioritize. You see, Black people have to learn to prioritize what is important for us, what is beneficial for us. There is no reason that someone who just arrived in America yesterday should be able to do better than Black Americans, but that is the reality right now. And yes, the US government has a huge responsibility for that because of all of the subsidies, but there are also things that we are doing in our community that is simply not helping us. It's keeping us behind, and we have to be honest about that. Ronald says, you think exactly like I do. Thank you so much, Ronald. And quick plug, if you haven't considered joining my Patreon or becoming a member, definitely consider doing that. I want to start having conversations more off of YouTube about community building. I want to start having more interaction off of YouTube with you all. Sometimes it's a little difficult to do on YouTube because you just never know who's here. And so definitely consider joining my Patreon or becoming a member. I want to start going one-on-one more often with the folks in this community because I think we're building something special. And hi to everyone that's popped into the chat. Say hi to your girl DJ. Come one, come all. Good morning to you. I'm having peppermint mocha coffee this morning. Let me know what you're drinking and let's just chop it up. I agree we should own our own businesses. Have you noticed how Hispanics support their businesses in their neighborhood? Yes, I have. Let's see. When Biden finishes throwing federal resettlement dollars at Afghan refugees, they will live better than the average low-wage earning Black family. 100% correct. Yes, we are always talking about white people and not focusing on ourselves and being responsible adults. Absolutely. You cannot blame white people for everything. Ronald, that is the comment of the day. You cannot blame white people for everything that goes on in Black America. Who told Meek Mill to put an album cover out with Black women bent over with their body parts showing? Who made Meek Mill do that? Black man, Black woman. Did white people force Meek Mill, the rapper, to come out and produce an album cover with Black women bent over, private parts showing? Are you going to blame the white man for that? He didn't force you to do that. That is the way that you see Black women, and you are broadcasting that dysfunction for everybody in the world to see. Who is forcing Black men to call Black women bees and their music? Who? Who is forcing Black men to call Black women hood rats and thoughts? The white man is forcing you to do that? Actually, it's the white man who's saying it's degrading. So no, we're not going to pretend like all the dysfunction in the Black community is because of white people. And notice how we love to say white men. I notice that the women are always conveniently left out. I wonder why. Is it because Black men like sleeping with them? Holla if you hear me. Let me get into these comments. Hi to everyone that's joining. What's up? We've got more people in the chat. Come say hi to your DJ. Let's chop it up. Should I drop the link? Let me know what you all want to talk about. This is really for the subscribers. I know I've been away. I talked about at the beginning why I haven't been on. So I just want to spend some quality time. And this is anything goes. So let me know what you all want to talk about. But this is just for us to spend some time together. Okay. Let me get to the comments. Y'all done got me going off on a rant because I was so disgusted by that Meek Mill cover. I could not even speak about it. It was so disgusting and degrading. And you mean to tell me that you can degrade your own women and put that out there on a bus where little Black girls can see what you think of them, that you think they are nothing more than body parts. And then expensive pain, associating Blackness with struggle, associating Blackness with pain. How are we supposed to progress if that is what the men of our community are doing? How? Tell me in the chat. I'm asking. Okay, let me get to some of these comments. Let's see. Okay. MK Turi says, I'm sorry. I was so upset about your video. I appreciate that, MK. And for those of you who don't know, MK Toure is a Gambian brother. So big up to my Gambian folks. And, you know, he said some very critical things about me, very harsh. And I was just looking like, you know, we chop it up on my channel. I've always been so open and so welcoming to my Gambian people. Even if you didn't always agree with me, you always had a space here. And it was just very hurtful to see you go on another person's channel to talk bad about DJ. Like, that just wasn't cool. And you could have come to me. You know, I'm very open-minded. So I appreciate the apology, Toure. I do appreciate that apology, but that really hurt my feelings. Okay, Seb. All right, Tanzania is in the house. What's up, Tanzania? He said, I missed you a lot, DJ. Play that nice startup music. Yes, I will play the music. Wait, somebody was like dragging my beats. Somebody dragged my beats and said I had terrible music. Listen, I'm going back into the beat maker. I'm going to try to make some new music, and y'all know we're going to get it cracking. Seb says, DJ, it's your time to visit Serengeti, Kilimanjaro, and Zanzibar. Thank you. Well, I hope I have some Tanzanian hosts. Let your girl know. Africa is the future says, what is being spent on these immigrants and aid is chicken change compared to what USA is stealing from these countries in terms of natural resources. Wow. Yes, Cuddy, and thank you for the shout out. And big ups to Kenya. I feel like y'all are putting Kenya on the map. You know, I don't hear people talking about Ghana as much anymore. Hey, it looks like Kenya is starting to get that shine. Okay, all right. Let me see. MK says, I'm so sorry about the comments. I was very upset about your videos where you made videos talking about the Gambia. I understand that, MK. I do. I get it. And the thing is, we're going to have honest discussion on this channel. I can only be real. I'm not going to come on here and lie and fake and pretend. If something is going on in Gambia that needs to be brought to the attention of the diaspora, is going to be said. And can we talk about how Africans are okay with dragging Black Americans any day of the week, right? If Black Americans do something that Africans don't like, y'all are the first ones to talk about the Akata and talk about the Tubab and talk about Black Americans. But if Black Americans say anything, anything about Gambia, Tanzania, Ghana, it's like, hands off. And I don't think that's okay. I think it's too one-sided. We need to have balance. I don't disrespect any group of people, any country. You all know that. I'm a traveler. I love intercultural exchange. But what we're not going to do is lie. What we're not going to do is lie. And I feel like some of your favorite YouTubers, they've been lying. I see a lot of the Black Move to Africa YouTubers. I see a whole lot of them in America these days. Did you really move back to Africa, or did you go on vacation so you could come back to America and sell a product? I'm just asking the question. Oh, Michelle. Hey, girl. She says, I am so glad to see you back, Delightful D. Hi, Michelle. It's so good to see you too, girl. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here on the channel. Ronald says, I love this channel. Thank you. Michelle says, you told no lies, sis. Thank you. Okay, who is up? Because I want to talk with somebody who can come on and chat with me if I drop the link, because I want to chop it up. Like, I want to talk to somebody who's online right now who could chop it up. Africa is the future says, now we have ADOS, FBA making an issue about Haitian refugees coming to USA and saying nothing about Afghan refugees coming on preferential treatment and red carpet. Yeah, there's definitely a lot in terms of, you know, the difference between the Haitian refugees and the Afghanian refugees. And what I think we need to talk about is Haitians have made it very difficult for Black Americans to support them. Can we have some real talk right now? Can we have some real talk right now? Let me sip my coffee. Are y'all gonna be mad at DJ if we have some real talk? Sac passe. Hey! I've known Haitians. I actually worked under a Haitian man when I was in college. He had his own business and everything. Love their family values. Love their family values. But Haitians have been distancing themselves from Black Americans, ADOS, FBA, since they got to this country. Every time I've come into contact with Haitians, they are so quick to let you know, I am not Black American. So, sac passe. And you like, okay. Like, okay. Haitians are very, very clear when they come to America that they do not want to be associated with ADOS FBA. And so therefore, when you start getting the whip, y'all saw that photo at the border? When you start getting the whip and you start seeing that you are not treated any better, now we're all Black. Now it's not sac passe. Hey, I thought it was sac passe. Now it's we're all Black. So yes, two things can be true at the same time. America can treat one group of refugees differently, but also Haitians, you have to be real. You have been differentiating and separating and othering yourself from Black Americans for a very long time. And so now when we say, okay, you're different, you're Zoe, all of that, now it's all of a sudden we're brothers. I thought you didn't fool with Black Americans. I thought we didn't have enough culture for you. But now that you're on the hot seat, we brothers now. Can we have some real talk? Let me catch up on the comments. Michelle says, Meek Mill paid a Black woman artist to draw that mess on his bus. Yes, Michelle, you're 100% correct. Meek Mill did pay a Black woman, and a Black woman did draw that. But can we talk about how we as Black women often have internalized misogyny, internalized hate, internalized racism? Black women often don't like each other and can feel very much the same amount of hatred and disdain for other Black women as any other group. Are we ready to talk about that? MK is laughing. Ronald says B1. Africa is the future, says D. You're wrong. Come to Africa and see that Black Americans are idolized as our own people who went away. There's no beefing. Africa is the future. Which African country are they idolized in? Let me know. Drop it in the chat. Let me know. Ronald says, wow. Africa's the future says, I'm mad already. Oh, don't be mad. Africa's the future. Ronald says Haitians are very snooty. Whoa. I will just say Haitians have made their entire existence in America differentiating themselves from Black Americans, right or wrong. So now that it's your turn in the hot seat, you cannot be mad that Black Americans are not coming to your rescue, right? Let's see. In Africa, we call it brotherly tiff. When we face other races, we close ranks and defend our race together. Black Americans are very susceptible to white man divide and rule strategy. Chat, is Africa the future correct? Are Black Americans very susceptible to white man divide and rule strategy? Because what I'm going to say is, you say there's brotherly love, but is that true in Cameroon? where the Anglophones in Ambazonia, southern Cameroon, are in a war against the Francophone Cameroonians. And if you all know what went down in Boué, where a southern Cameroonian little girl, rest in peace, was shot at a checkpoint because in southern Cameroon, they are heavily policed. And her mother was driving her to school. Her mother did not want to pay the 500 CFAs. Those are francs. And so the police officer, or I forget what they call them. He's not a police officer. He's like a soldier, a gendarme, I believe. He shot through the car and killed a little girl. Over 500 francs. And do you know how the Southern Cameroonians responded? They lynched him on the spot. So when you say that we're brothers, Africa is the future, and that Black Americans are the only ones susceptible to divide and rule, I want you to tell me, is that true in Cameroon? Is that true in Cameroon? Or is that true in Nigeria, where the Fulani, the herdsmen in the north, are regularly waging war against Eastern and Southern Nigerians, i.e. Yoruba and Igbo? Is that true in Nigeria? Tell me Africa is the future. Because you are telling me that it's a Black American thing. So now let's talk about it. Is it? Tell me if it's true in Ethiopia, right? Right now in Ethiopia, there is a war going on. The Tigray are suffering. People are being starved. Is that true in Ethiopia? So I think we have to be real when we're talking about the brotherly tiff and the brotherly love, because when you actually look at what's going on in Africa, I'm not seeing that. And I actually do want to hear from you. Africa is the future. Come on and let me know. Let's discuss. Ebony says, yes, brother, what country is that? And Africa is the future says Zimbabwe. And I really can't speak to Zimbabwe because right now Zimbabwe is not a really popular country for Black Americans. So I don't think we have a large enough sample size to actually use Zimbabwe as the example. Is that fair? Ronald says, I mean this as a compliment, but you seem so much like an African woman. Thank you. Well, my DNA says I'm African. I did the DNA test, African ancestry, a few years ago, and I traced my maternal line, but I also want to do my full DNA panel to see like all the countries that make up who I am. So thank you. So yeah, so that's all I'm saying. Africa is the future. It's okay for us to be honest. And Black Americans, the thing is, Black Americans often have this idea about Pan Africanism, right? What's up? I see more people coming on. Okay, listen, I am going to drop the link. Anybody that is on, come on and chat it up with me if you can. I'm going to drop the link. What's up? It's your girl DJ. I dropped the link, so if anyone is on, come up, let's chat. I miss all of you. I just want to spend some quality time, so we're just having a little chit chat. There's the link. But let's talk about the Pan African hustle, right? Because Pan Africanism is a hustle that only exists in America. Let me repeat that. Pan Africanism is a hustle that only exists in America. There is not one country in Africa that is a Pan African country. There is not one country in Africa that is a Pan African country. And the truth of the matter is that if Black Americans want to sit at the adult table and have the discussion about where do we go from here? What do we do from here? We're going to have to first be okay admitting that the ideology of Pan-Africanism doesn't work. I want you to go to Nigeria and tell a Yoruba man to be Pan-African with an Igbo man, with a Hausa man. I want you to go to Gambia and tell a Mandinka man to be Pan-African with a Wolof man. It's not going to happen. And that is okay. You see, Black folks were given this Pan-African ideology as a way of having a connection to our roots. But does Pan-Africanism actually connect us to our roots? I don't think so. And here's why. You are Pan-African, but you wear kente cloth from Ghana, from a tribe that you have no connection to. You are Pan-African, but you moved to Gambia, to a country that you have no connection to. And instead of you going to those countries and saying, I am unique, but I want to fellowship. I am unique. I am not from here, but I want to build connections. I want to reconnect. Instead of you doing that, you go to Africa, to countries where you have no association, no connection, no bloodline, and you tell them, oh, no, we're all African. Oh, no, we're all Black. That doesn't work. And it's part of the reason why Black Americans are having such a hard time in Africa. It's okay to recognize the unique beauty of different African cultures. You don't have to put them all into one pot in order to be a brother. Does anybody hear me? Does anybody feel that? You don't have to try to erase their culture, their history, their lineages so that you can be accepted as a brother. Pan-Africanism actually removes Black Americans further away from Africa. Why? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Because when you take on the Pan-African ideology, you erase the differences that make us who we are. So instead of being able to recognize the person that is in front of you, you now see us all as one group. And it just doesn't work that way. Holla if you hear me. Does anybody agree? Let me know if I'm wrong. But this is what I've seen. Pan-Africanism is a leftover ideology from the 80s, the 70s. It really caught fire in the 80s. It's a leftover ideology that has no place in 2021 and going forward. We have way too much information now. We have way too much knowledge now. I don't begrudge our ancestors who decided to use Pan Africanism, as a way of connecting. I don't begrudge that. But in 2021, we have more than enough knowledge to say this is not workable going forward. What has Pan Africanism built? Tell me, what has it built? What has it improved? Does it even have a seat at the table? No. And that's because Africans do not accept Pan-African philosophy. Africans themselves do not accept Pan-African ideology. Therefore, it's a non-starter. How can you be Pan-African when the Africans themselves do not believe in it? Let me get to some comments. Let's see. Ronald says, it was meant for me to cross your path. I never heard anyone explain Pan-Africanism like you. It's not working for us. Oh, Ronald, thank you. You're just making me feel so good today, Ronald. Thank you. Look up Coltrane Chimurenga, a Black American leader recognized as a national hero, buried in Zimbabwe as the leader of 12 December movement, an honor reserved for Zimbabweans only. Okay, I'll definitely check it out. Almita says, they are not going to let you remove their culture. Bingo! Bingo! Almita, bingo. They are not going to let you remove their culture. And that is precisely what Pan-Africanism does. And no African person on the continent is going to allow you to come in and tell them, oh, you can't do genital mutilation. Oh, you can't do bride price. Oh, you can't do sacrifice. Oh, you can't practice that religion. So by embracing Pan-Africanism, and I have to admit, Pan-Africanism honestly is really not a part of the conversation anymore. I see it on YouTube, but in real life, I see very few Black Americans that are Pan-Africans. I see it on the internet, but that's the only place I see it. Because truthfully, Pan-Africanism, it does not have a root in anything solid. We are no longer making up connections to the continent or to our ancestors. We are waking up the real connections to our ancestors, to the continent. Pan-Africanism does not have a real seat at the table. Hey, I'm just calling it like I see it. Pan-Africanism is a philosophy that does best on the internet when asking for donations. That's it. That's all. You're not going to go anywhere in the real world and actually find a Pan-African country, a Pan-African movement. Doesn't exist. So Black folks, if you want to be taken seriously, it's time to stop holding on to these silly ideologies and say, okay, we're ready to have a real conversation at the adult table. We're ready. We're ready to talk about land ownership in Africa. We're ready to talk about the traditions that we will and will not accept. We're ready to talk about what our people need to do to make this happen. That's when the true discussion begins. Ronald says, but what if we are being oppressed for the same reason, and that's being Black? That happens in Africa too. Very valid point. Aki Mo says, or Aki Mo says, is the same tactics all over again in Africa, and between Black people, the divide and conquer game. The colonialists the colonist draws the fake borders and lets the small minority of corrupt elite rule the majority. Correct. And we need to talk about those borders, because actually the Africa that we are referring to is a creation. These borders and these countries that we're seeing are creations by people that are not Africans. We could start there. Are you really going to Nigeria? Or are you going to the Nigeria that the British created? Are you really going to Cameroon? Or are you going to the Cameroon that the French and the Germans created? I'm just asking the question. Chino says Delightful D. Yeah. Delightful D, I have a nice guy for you in Africa. You will beg for more. Y'all, put a 1 in the chat if you believe that that Delightful D would be a good match with an African man. Put a 1 in the chat for me. Chinoso. You know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. Y'all put a 1 in the chat and let me know if Delightful D, if DJ, me, would be a good match for an African man. Hey. What would my bride price be for my Africans in the chat? What would my bride price be in Africa? What could I request as a bride price? Ryan Lawrence says, I feel like if your culture is not elevating your people for better or keeping you stagnated, you need to let it go as a whole. And this goes for Black people and whoever. Let me repeat that. Let me read that again. I feel like if your culture is not elevating your people for better and keeps you stagnated, you need to let it go as a whole. And this goes for Black people, Africans, and whoever. That's a solid point. And that's what I mean when I say Black people, we have to be okay with evolving. I feel like Black Americans, we've built so many wonderful things in our culture that we just don't know how to say this is not working. For example, rap music is not working for Black people in America. It is past time for us to either censor rap music or do away with it. And what I mean by that is anytime you have music that is okay with degrading your women and calling for the killing of other Black men in every song, I cannot turn on the radio and hear any other group disrespecting their women the way I hear on rap music. I can't hear a country song. I can't hear a pop song. I've never heard it. I've never heard a country song calling white women B's and H's. Never. So it's time for us to start saying, are these cultural artifacts really serving us? Okay, GW Solid says facts. Ronald says 2. Seb says, I don't think so, Chinoso. Yaya says an African man. Joe Franco says 0. 1 million. What are the Black Americans' missions in Africa? What are they trying to achieve? Yes, that's a good question. Because here's my thing, and without being overly critical, I have to really discuss, what are Black Americans trying to achieve? Because, for example, if we look at Gambia, which is one of the popular countries, although I have to say Gambia, I think the issues from the past few months, the last year, it's really made Gambia lose a lot of its popularity. I don't see people going to Gambia the way that they used to. And if I'm wrong, let me know. But I don't see people rushing to go to Gambia anymore. And I do think a lot of that has to do with the things that have taken place. But if we look at Gambia, for example, and we say, okay, what did Black Americans go there to do, right? I don't really see anything noteworthy. Shout out to the Happy Companion. I see that he opened a clothing store, but the Happy Companion, he went to Gambia because he did like his DNA test. He wanted to live in an Islamic country. He's a Muslim. So he went there so that he could fully live out his religion. That's very valid. But for the Black Americans that went to start businesses, I mean, what businesses have they started that is really impacting the Gambian economy? Can we talk? What businesses in Gambia have really been started by Black Americans that are really making a major impact? Have they started a construction company? No. Have they built any factories? No. Have they opened any businesses that provide food, shelter? No. But they do like to sell t-shirts and coffee mugs and things that really don't make a difference in the grand scheme of things. And I'm not mad at them for that, but it just feels very disingenuous to say that you're going to Africa to start a business and really your business is selling shirts to Black Americans. I mean, am I wrong? Let me know. I just don't really see a purpose in that. And it's not Black Americans' responsibility to drive African economies. Let's be clear, it's not our responsibility to drive the economy of a particular African country. But if you're going to make the case that the whole reason you're going to Africa is to bring your business knowledge and your business know-how to that country, and then when you get there, your business is basically creating t-shirts to sell to Black Americans, I mean, really? So that's my take on it. Let me see. Okay. All right. I'll go a few more minutes. And then if no one has anything else, I will get ready to jump off. Hi. I'm so glad to see so many of you joining me. Thank you. Let's see. Almida says they do not want to pay us bride price. Ooh, interesting. They have country songs that do disrespect women. I've never heard a country song on the radio calling a woman a B or an H. So send that to me in my email. Let me put it on the screen. 1 second. And you can also, folks, you can email me stories. This is the new channel email, delightfuldtv@gmail.com. And if there are stories that you want me to cover and things like that, feel free to email the channel. And then, of course, if you want to show love, you can send a Cashapp, which is #CherieDJ. So that's on the screen right now. So definitely show your girls some love. Super chats, no matter how big or small, are always welcome. So yes, feel free to send me any country song on the radio where women are being called B's and H's, because I've never heard it. And I've lived in America all my life. Let's see. With your passport, you can ask 50K. Ebony says, yes, it's a holdover from slavery, not respecting Black women. 100% correct. What about the economic prosperity? Look at China. They all one people. Israel have their young diaspora back to serve. They are one all over the world. Bye, Ebony. Have a great day. Thanks for joining. The infrastructure is not good in Gambia at all. Bad streets, electricity keeps going off, lowest pay. That's very interesting because I saw that one of the Gambian repats was complaining about how women's opinions are not valued in the Gambia, how she's not able to even like say something and be respected as a woman. And I'm just thinking to myself, if all of this is going on, then why do you keep trying to get other Black women to go there? Like, I totally get why Black American men would go to the Gambia, right? Because if you can get, 4 wives, right? And you can just run all through that thing, I get it, right? But if you're saying that you yourself as a woman, you do not have a voice, you're not respected because you're a woman, then why would you be trying to get other women to come to Gambia? Something isn't adding up. The math isn't mathing. Why are you trying to get more women to come to Gambia if you're saying you yourself are disrespected on a daily basis, you don't have a voice, women have no power? Then what are you really saying to us? I mean, am I the only one who finds that strange? Let's see. Why can't you allow people to find their strides? Your perspective is flawed. How so? Elaborate on that, Jacques. Or come on in and tell me how that is flawed, because I'm very interested to hear. LOL at t-shirts, right? Ronald says, I have to be honest. I have had some extremely traumatizing experiences with Africans. I don't know where their perceptions of Black Americans come from. Wow. Well, definitely let me know if you want to come on and let us know what experiences you're referring to, because, we definitely want to hear. So let me know if I should drop the link or if you want to share. Ebony says, you are not wrong. Are they asking the Mazungas what they're okay? This is yet another iteration of self-loathing. Have passport on deck. Freedom is priceless. Almitha says, I've never heard country songs disrespecting women at all. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I've never heard it. So if you've heard a country song on the radio saying that a woman is a B or a H, send it to the email of the channel, drop it in my comments somewhere, and let us hear this, because what I hear is, those wonderful blue eyes and those nice jeans, and she's so sweet, and I hear nothing but love for their women. I've never heard it. BH, hood rat, thought. I've never heard it in country music. Almitha Harrison says, Art Kathy was right about a lot of things. Having had time to reflect on Art Kathy, I can say that, number one, Art Kathy did share a lot of things that were truthful. She did. Was the business on the up and up? No, it wasn't. But did Art Kathy share a lot of truths about Gambia that maybe we weren't prepared to hear? Yes, she did. Now, Art Kathy is a character, and the reason why I say that is because when Art Kathy was in Gambia, she was rocking the short hair, right? She had her Princess Bam Bam, Flintstone outfit on. And she was all in a kente cloth and the African cloth. And she was all, militant and whatever. And I don't understand why Black women wear a weave. And I don't understand, even though she spent the first 30 years of her life wearing weave and all the whatever else. But she had her little Princess Africa outfit on, and she was doing the most. Then as soon as she got back to America, Art Kathy brought out the bundles. Art Kathy dressing normally again. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, our Kathy, that was a whole character that she created because none of it was genuine to her. When she got back to America, she took off that African costume, she took off the head wrap, she took off all of that and went right back to being our Kathy from Decatur. And I'm just like, why, why couldn't you just be yourself in Africa? Why did you have to put on this character? So it just felt very disingenuous. And I'm like, our Kathy, I thought you were the realest one, right? You always talk about how you kept it real, but girl, you got rid of that head wrap the minute you got off the plane. You put your bundles back on, and now, y'all. It just tickled me because I'm like, these folks, when they're in Africa, they have a whole different personality. And then when they come back to America, all of a sudden they're totally different. And it's like, okay, like I have no issue with it, but it's just like, why couldn't you just be you while you were there? That's all. Let me see. It was something else I was thinking. Y'all done got my train of thought. I done forgot my train of thought. Y'all, I mean, okay. Let's see. Africa is the future. D, I want you to come to Zimbabwe and experience it. I definitely want to come too. Pan Africanism was meant for self-sufficient and to unite for economic prosperity, to control their trading blocks, to control the $1.3 billion marketplace. Okay, LOL. Right? She was playing a whole character and is dating regular, even dating a non-woke man. She got that weave now. Right. She got back to America. She ripped the head wrap off so fast. She took off the kente cloth and she was back in the bundles. I was like, dang, our Kathy, like, wow. Okay, you were just on here talking about how Black women don't know who they are. And see, that's why you have to be very careful of who you take advice from, because remember, our Kathy was proclaiming to be some kind of self-love expert, and now she's making videos, which kudos to her. She's being truthful now, but she's admitting that she was in a very dark place for a very long time, and she wasn't happy with herself, and she was going through issues. And I was like, wow, it's refreshing to see the real Art Kathy. But remember, while she was going through all of that, she was still trying to advise women about womb school and womb healing and all this type of stuff. So be very careful of who you take advice from. Skittles says she has changed completely. Yaya says, okay, you're right about rap music disrespecting more women in their music more than country music, but I'll send you a few known country songs that diss women in your email. Yes, feel free to send them. I know 100% I've never heard a country song with the BH word on the radio, because the disrespect of women in the dominant society is not allowed. It's considered unacceptable. And we need to make that standard for Black women as well. Pay the Piper says she landed in Africa and became Nkechi Amare Diallo and got back to the States and went back to Miss Thang. Our Kathy said it was so bad to live in the US. Now she is back and selling land over there. Exactly, because it was all a hustle. And my thing is, I don't begrudge anyone making their money. Make your money, that's fine. But it's when you become extreme. See, then you have to walk it back. I admit I've evolved in how I think about things. There's nothing wrong with evolving, but it's when you're trying to sell, this kind of perfection, womb school and womb healing in Africa. And now we see you back in Decatur enjoying that fried chicken, right? You're not eating the fufu. You're not eating that no more. You eating that good fried chicken with macaroni and cheese back at home, right in Decatur or Atlanta, somewhere in Georgia. Our Kathy, come on. Actually, if anybody knows our Kathy, reach out to her and let her know I want to interview her, because I would love to hear what our Kathy has to say now that she's been out of the game for some time in Africa. Akimo says, you look like East African, Ethiopian, or Somali. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You know, it's so interesting because Africa has such a wide range of beauty. And we all know, you know, there's so much beauty on the continent. So thank you so much. You're making me feel so good. Our Kathy is a cacophony of contradiction. Not a cacophony. Wow. Hey, Truth Serum. I saw you trying to kind of low key go off on me in my Serena video. We need to chop it up about that, because y'all, our girl Serena is in trouble. I think this man is about to take millions of dollars from Serena. But Truth Serum, I love seeing you on the channel. Thank you so much. Yes, Akimo. Where are you from? I believe Tanzania. Travi, what's up, Travi? Travi's in the house. Y'all say hi to Travi. He is one of our longtime moderators, and he sent a super sticker of $20. Oh, thank you so much, Travi. I miss you. I hope everything has been well. Like, hit me up on, on socials and stuff like that. We need to chop it up again. But thank you so much for supporting the channel. Travi, big baller, shot caller, coming through with the $20 super chat. Thank you so much. And he says, hey there, just dropping in, gotta get back to the business. Absolutely, Trav. He's a hardworking man. That's a hardworking Black American man. He's always at work. Every time I talk to him, he is handling business. Thank you so much, Travis. I appreciate that. Let's see. He says, I'm from Somalia, but living in Holland. All right, Somalia. Well, welcome. All right, y'all. So we have been on for over an hour. Thank you so much for coming through and sharing some good laughs and some good chats with your DJ. Let me know if there are any last comments or anything we should say and chat about. And then I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Stay tuned. More lives are going to be coming. We need to start getting into these diaspora topics. ADOS. FBA, we got to talk about it. So more coming up on that. And yeah, that's all I really had to say. I did some digging. I did some researching, and I found that one of your favorite YouTubers came to America a few months back to get a PPP loan. And I was thinking, it's interesting because when I go to these channels, they tell me that they're living so well in Africa. They're living so well. They're making money. They're richer than they've ever been. Oh, it's great. But then when I actually do the research, and what do we do on Delightful D? What do we do on this channel? We follow the money. We want to know where the money's coming from. Well, apparently the money is coming from the United States government, because this person came back to America a few months ago to collect that PPP loan. And hey, is nothing wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. But can you be real with the people about where you're getting your money? Because you're not generating that money in Africa. See, y'all will be following some YouTubers and you think they're getting money based on businesses in Africa. No, ma'am. No, sir. Their money is coming from loans from the United States government and the donations that folks give. So just remember, when some of these folks are telling you about how good their business is doing, but then you see them catching that flight back to America, it's not just for visiting and it's not just for fun. So that's what I'm seeing in the diaspora. I'm seeing folks that need that money. And hey, if you got to get it how you live, I understand. But what you shouldn't do is go get that money from America. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Thank you, United States government. Thank you, taxpayer. Thank you, taxpayer. Can we taxpayers get a thank you? Since y'all coming over here to America to get some of that tax money? But then you want to run back to the African country and act like you got that money from selling something in Africa or from a business in Africa. And that is not the case. So I just want to put that little word out there. Be real. If you still living off of United States government funds, it's no shame in it. But then don't try to tell your African American brother or sister that you just balling out of control because of something in Africa when you know good and darn well that that money came from a loan and from taxpayers. Just keep it real. That's all I ask. All right, so that is it for me. I'm going to read a few more comments and then we'll say goodbye. So say goodbye to me. Almita says, good to see you back. They faking. A lot of YouTubers in Africa have PPP loans. Yes, a lot of folks are living off of PPP loans, y'all. I know they told you that you could go over to this country or that country and just start a business. That's not the case. So a lot of YouTubers are living off of those loans and they have to come back and forth. They have to do interviews, things like that to get that money rolling. So when you think you're just going to go over there and open up a business, it's not quite that. They're not telling you what the real hustle is. And see, they have to be very careful because when tax time rolls around and they have to declare the money and the income, it can get very messy. All right, so that's it for me. Say goodbye to me. I'll give it a minute for you all to say goodbye, and then I'm going to log off. Let me have a sip of my coffee. Bye. Should we say adios? Ciao. All right. Bye, y'all. Oh, okay. Oh, I still see comments coming in. Ronald says, I was wondering, what are your thoughts on how we could form alliances with other people in the African people in the diaspora, given that you do not subscribe to Pan Africanism? Are there some new ideas out there? That is a great question, and let's do that on the next live. But for now, I do have to sign off. Thank you so much. Bye, y'all. I will see you next time, and we will get into it. Check out my videos. I'm dropping some later today. Mwah. Bye.